Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you're truly paying attention to the NFL landscape, you know that the offseason is always packed with surprises, negotiations, and sometimes even shock trades that shake up the entire league. But this summer, there's one storyline that's been catching fire, not just because of the players involved, but because of the potential seismic shifts it could cause in the NFC East, and of course, for the Washington Commanders. That's right, we're talking about the buzz surrounding Micah Parsons, the Dallas Cowboys superstar linebacker, and the speculation about a possible trade that could send him straight to the Commanders if negotiations go sideways. You see, Parsons has rapidly become one of the most dominant defensive players in the league since entering the NFL. His blend of speed, power, football IQ, and relentless pursuit has made him a nightmare for opposing offenses. And let's be honest, fans of the Commanders have watched with a mixture of admiration and envy as Parsons racks up sack after sack, disrupts plays, and elevates the entire Cowboys defense. He's young, he's talented, and he's under contract for just one more year, at least for now. That means the Cowboys have a lot to think about. Do they lock him down long-term? Do they risk losing him without any compensation? Or could they even consider trading him if talks stall or if the price is right? This last point, my friends, is where things get really interesting. The rumors have been swirling that if Dallas can't reach an agreement with Parsons on a new contract, they might explore the trade market. And guess what? The Washington Commanders are right there in the mix, waiting to pounce. Why? Well, because the Commanders have been rebuilding, yes, but they've also been accumulating assets, cap space, and young talent. They have that quarterback, Sam Howell, who's on a rookie deal for the next 4 years, giving them the flexibility to make a splash in the market. And let's not forget, the NFC East is wide open. The Eagles are formidable but not unbeatable, and the Giants are still finding their footing. The Commanders, with a few strategic moves, could position themselves as a true contender in this division. But it's not just about the potential for a trade, it's about what Parsons could bring to Washington. Imagine a linebacker who not only rushes the passer with relentless fury, but also can drop back into coverage, set the edge, and make plays all over the field. Parsons would instantly elevate the Commanders' defense, which has been solid but could use that extra star power to really compete with the top-tier teams. His presence could turn the tide for a defense that's been in a bit of a rebuild mode over the last couple of seasons. And let's be honest, adding a player of Parsons' caliber would send a message across the league. Washington is back, and they're here to contend. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. How realistic is this? Would Dallas really consider trading him? Well, that's where the story gets complex. As of now, Parsons is under contract for just one more year, and the Cowboys still have the franchise tag in their arsenal. That means they can hold on to him for at least another season while continuing negotiations, or they can decide to move him if they feel the price is too high, or if they believe they can get better value in a trade. Remember, Jerry Jones is no stranger to making bold moves, sometimes even before players hit free agency. And if the Cowboys see Parsons walking away next year without a deal, they might opt to maximize his trade value now. But let's be clear, at this moment, a trade seems more like a contingency plan rather than a certainty. The negotiations are ongoing, and both sides have reasons to want to come to an agreement. Parsons clearly wants to be paid like one of the league's elite, and Dallas knows how valuable he is. Still, the talks might take time, and if they stall, that's when the rumors about a potential trade gain traction. And here's where the Washington Commanders come into the picture. They've been aggressive this offseason, making a series of moves, trades, draft picks, free agent signings to bolster their roster. They have the cap space, the draft capital, and the motivation to make a splash. If the Cowboys decide to listen to offers, Washington could be the perfect landing spot for Parsons, especially since they're in a rebuild mode that could benefit from a veteran presence and a player who already has playoff experience and championship pedigree. Think about it. Parsons on the Commanders' defense alongside Chase Young, Montez Sweat, and a revamped secondary. The potential for a ferocious pass rush would skyrocket, and suddenly, Washington's defense would become one of the scariest units in the league. That, in turn, would take a lot of pressure off the young quarterback, Sam Howell, giving him more time and space to develop and lead the offense. It's a win-win scenario, and the kind of move that could accelerate Washington's path back to relevance and playoff contention. But of course, we need to temper expectations. The NFL is a business, and trades of this magnitude are rare, especially for a player like Parsons who is still so young and under control for at least another year. The Cowboys are unlikely to give him up easily, especially before negotiations on a long-term deal are finalized. And as of now, the picture remains cloudy. Could Parsons be traded? Perhaps. Could he stay in Dallas? Absolutely. It all depends on how the negotiations unfold in the coming weeks and months. This situation highlights just how unpredictable and exciting NFL offseason stories can be. Players of Parsons' caliber don't usually hit the market, and teams don't trade away their young stars unless absolutely necessary. But the fact that the rumor mill is spinning so intensely about a possible Washington Cowboys connection shows how much this could be a game changer. For Washington fans, it's a tantalizing thought. Adding a player of Parsons' talent could be the missing piece to finally vault the team into serious Super Bowl contention. And speaking of the Commanders, let's take a moment to reflect on their current roster and what's happening this season. After a couple of tough years, the team has been making strategic improvements. The coaching staff, led by Ron Rivera, has been working hard to instill a winning culture. The draft last year brought in some promising young talent, and free agency added depth on both sides of the ball. The offensive line has seen improvements, and the receiving core, led by Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin, shows flashes of potential. But what they're really missing is that game-changing defensive playmaker, someone who can tilt the scales in their favor. Parsons, with his ability to disrupt defenses, would be exactly that. And if the rumors turn into reality, it could mark the start of a new era for Washington. Imagine a defense that's not just stout but terrifying, with Parsons rushing the passer, dropping into coverage, and making things impossible for opposing quarterbacks. That kind of defense is what it takes to win playoff games and ultimately reach the Super Bowl. But let's not forget, the NFL offseason is a long road, filled with negotiations, strategic moves, and sometimes surprises. The Commanders are also eyeing other positions, considering draft options and planning for the future. Still, if the opportunity to acquire Parsons presents itself, it's a move that could define this franchise for years to come. Now, I want to emphasize to all of you, the passionate fans, that this kind of story, full of speculation and potential, really keeps the NFL world buzzing. And as fans of the Commanders, we have every reason to be excited. This team is on the rise, and with a little bit of luck and the right moves, they could be contenders sooner rather than later. The offseason is where champions are built, and maybe, just maybe, the Commanders are about to make a statement that echoes through the league. Remember, the NFL is a league of giants, and sometimes the biggest moves come out of nowhere. So stay tuned, keep supporting your team, and get ready for an exciting season ahead. The possibility of Micah Parsons donning the burgundy and gold is a story that could unfold in ways we've only dreamed of. And who knows? Maybe this summer is the beginning of a new chapter in Washington's quest for greatness. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all this? Do you believe a trade for Parsons is even possible? Would you like to see him in burgundy and gold? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the future of this team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and you don't want to miss a single moment. Thanks for riding along, and as always, let's go Commanders!